When we think about Christ's return, a lot of us have this picture in our minds of an immediate jump, right? Straight to the final eternal state. But is that what the Bible actually describes? Well, it turns out there's a really crucial and often misunderstood chapter in between. Let's unpack that timeline together.
So here's how we're going to bring some clarity to this. First, we'll look at the biblical sequence of events. Then we're going to dive into why this kingdom is so necessary, how it's actually different from what we think of as eternity, and what its true purpose is as the bridge connecting history to God's final plan. So let's start with that central question. Christ has returned in glory, victory is won. So what's the very next chapter in God's redemptive story? The common assumption is, well, we go directly into that final eternal state, the new heaven and the new earth. And it seems logical, right? A clean jump from a fallen world to a perfect one. But Scripture actually reveals an incredibly important and intentional phase right in between. So what is that revealed timeline? Let's unpack it, looking straight at the text itself. Just look at how clearly Scripture lays this out. It's not a jump, it's a specific sequence. Revelation 19 gives us the second coming. Then, chapter 20 details a literal 1,000-year reign. That's the Millennial Kingdom. It's only after that 1,000 years that we see Satan's final rebellion, the great white throne judgment, and then finally the new heaven and new earth. The timeline itself tells us this kingdom isn't just symbolic filler, it's a designed and necessary stage in God's plan. Okay, so if it's an intentional stage, the next logical question has to be, why? Why is it there? Well, Scripture gives us at least 4 crucial reasons why this 1,000-year kingdom is so necessary. First, this reign is absolutely necessary to fulfill God's unconditional promises. Think about it. God promised a descendant of David would rule on a literal throne from Jerusalem. Scriptures like Luke 1 and Zechariah 14 describe an earthly rule. These promises, they require real time, real land, and a real place in history to be fulfilled. All elements that define this kingdom, not the timelessness of eternity. Now, the second purpose is, well, it's profound. It's to demonstrate the true nature of sin. For 1,000 years, Satan is bound. Christ rules with perfect justice. It's the most ideal environment you could ever imagine. And yet, at the very end, when Satan is briefly released, rebellion still erupts. This provides the ultimate proof. The problem isn't just our environment or demonic influence. The problem is rooted deep in the human heart itself. Third, the millennium is the time and place for the public reward of the faithful. The Bible is so clear that those who are faithful will reign with Christ. This kingdom is the stage for that to happen. So this isn't just about getting a crown in heaven, it's about exercising real authority in a restored history, with responsibility given based on faithful service to the King. And fourth, this kingdom serves to restore creation progressively. Isaiah's prophecies of the lion and the lamb, they paint this beautiful picture of a healed earth. But, and this is key, it's not perfected just yet. Death still exists, even if it's rare. Peace is enforced by the king. It's not yet innate in every heart. This is a deliberate, progressive healing, preparing the way for the final renewal when God makes all things new. And this leads us to one of the most important distinctions in all of prophecy, understanding the difference between this coming kingdom and the final eternal state. They are absolutely not the same thing. This table really makes the distinction clear. The kingdom has a set duration, 1,000 years. Eternity is, well, it's eternal. In the kingdom, death and sin are still present, though they're restrained. In eternity, they're gone forever. And this highlights the biggest difference. In the millennium, the earth is restored. In the final state, creation is made entirely new. So let's circle back to our original metaphor. What is the true purpose of this bridge? Because it's so much more than just a simple transition. So, is it just a bridge? Functionally, yeah, you could say that. It connects our fallen history to the perfection of eternity. But in terms of its importance, absolutely not. This bridge is the magnificent purpose. It is the public, visible reign of Christ on earth, it's the fulfillment of prophecy, and it's the final, definitive demonstration of God's righteousness. And all of this, it all leads to one grand conclusion. The ultimate purpose of this reign is to demonstrate for all of creation to see Christ's proven and worthy rule. This really gets to the heart of it all. God doesn't just scrap his creation and start over. He enters into history to redeem it, rule over it, and judge it righteously before finally renewing it. The Millennial Kingdom is the historical stage where Jesus Christ proves, in real time and real space, that he alone is worthy to rule all things.
So as we close, here is a final thought to reflect on. This biblical truth, it really changes our perspective. It gives us a hope that isn't just about escaping this world, but about seeing it ruled righteously by its rightful king. So the question for us is, are you preparing only for heaven, or are you also preparing for the kingdom?